All right, welcome everybody. Another exciting episode of Cat's Corner with my esteemed panel. Guys, I know you both, but please introduce yourself again if someone's never watched.
I'm Pete Thomas. I'm the senior VP at Snyder Precious Metals at the metals desk itself, where we do recycling. We assist recyclers. We assist in the direction of bullion sales. We do hedging across the board. We have a preeminent, probably the best platform in the industry for hedgers. It involves copper, platinum, palladium, and that. And so we stay pretty darn busy.
Cool, man. I like it. And this other guy in the corner.
Hey, Nick. So for your guest, my name is Scott Pollan. I work here at Snyder Metals with Pete, and I'm the young guy on the metals desk. And my job is to bring some vitality into here. Woo!
Oh, I love it. There we go.
And right behind him, look at the picture behind him. Right behind him is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's where we are. That's our main office downtown. We're right across the street from the Merc.
You got the coolest view, man. There's no filter in your view.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the mix. I'm in it every day.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, well, let's dive in. We released an episode last week. I kind of was asking you two, like, where does this platinum go? I know it goes in catalytic converters because that's what Converter Reclaim buys, but I know that's not its only use. So let's just kick off there, and then we'll kind of get into where we think what the markets are going to continue to do. So,
okay. The thing is that with our business and our people and the people that hedge with us, basically it's automotive. I mean, guys are pulling copper wire. They're catalytic converters. As you know, you guys do a tremendous job with your cats over there. And, so we normally think that, all the platinum, palladium, the honeycomb are going out and going to cars, and that's the only place. But I reached out and got the World Platinum Investment Council, a good friend of mine, Raymond, that runs the situation, Trevor Raymond. What an English name, Trevor. He was supposed to have seen me when I was on my speaking tour in the EU and in London, and I was talking on metals there. And I got some numbers from him as far as industrial demand. Like, we see our cars, but where's everything else going, And here's something really interesting, guys, and I had completely forgotten. I know we have for years, I used to help with Kodak, but the production of glass at Corning and places like that, they use special strains of glass that has platinum in it that's ultra clear and ultra fast. And their consumption now is up to 29% of the world market of platinum. I mean, that's a gigantic number. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think there's a way to recover that. So, that's one of the processes. Also, don't forget jewelers. We have a big demand of jewelry, possibly as high as 28% annually. So that's a big number. And then couple that, those of you who follow us at Snyder Precious Metals, also our newsletter that comes out once a week that Pete Grant writes. It's fantastic. I'm on Goldbug and on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. I write articles on it. Medical demand used to be very, very small. Now we're up to 14% of all produced refined platinum is going into medical usage. So we're kind of we're number two, but there's a lot of pressure going on in the market now as production drops. The South African mines over the years, they've been in the same mines.
Oh,
Pete, we lost you a little bit there.
Now for 104 years.
Hold on. We lost you a second. You said we were in the same mines for 104 years. Is that what you said?
Yep. It's 104 years.
And are those mines drying up then?
Well, what happens is this, Nick, you'll have a vein that you're working on in an area, and all of a sudden the yields will drop. Well, those yields in the veins that they're in now for the last 2 or 3 years have gone down. And so what you have to do is you have to start grooming new veins with higher yield, and they've fallen behind on the curve. The price of their product has gone up, but they haven't invested the money in the mining itself. So we're seeing lower numbers coming out of South Africa, and that was, pretty much the primary guys for a long time. So now we're relying more and more on Russia for their production.
So the medical use, is it going into equipment? Is it going into the actual medicine? Where is the platinum going?
Well, Scott, you want to take that?
Yeah, so there are multiple uses of platinum in medicine. I come from a family of dentists, so there's actually a lot of platinum used in dental tools. It also is a component, I want to say, in things related to like every test strip for a diabetic. Those test strips have a little bit of platinum in them, and that's part of it. So when I look at medical stuff, I try to think about what is one and done and what is disposable and what is not going to get back into the recycling stream. And those blood test strips, a lot of those are gone. The common chemotherapy
they have to be
drugs,
because they're a biohazard. They have to be gone. They have to be disposed.
Right, exactly. They're a biohazard, but if there was a program to recover the platinum out of it, do you feel like it's possible or no?
Too dangerous.
It's just done. So that's stuff
and whatnot. You're going to have dried blood coming in on a regular basis.
Gotcha. That stuff's gone.
The medical industry is where we like to see one and done. I like sanitary medical things. Another big use, especially as we have an aging population, is these two very common chemotherapy drugs, carboplatin and paclitaxel.
Right.
That's really they're injecting platinum into your body, and then the active component fighting against these cancerous tumor cells is platinum. And when you go, that platinum goes. So those are also these one-time use case scenarios inside of the medical industry.
And that's a very, very unique product, Nick, in that it's referred to as an ultra powder. It's ground down to the grain. It's so fine that it's almost it's almost unmeasurable. It's so tiny, and a lot of it is irradiated. And so you have to have special licenses to handle it, and you're certainly not going to be recovering radioactive material.
And you said that, did you say 20% goes into the glass?
Actually, jewelers were 28% and glass was 21%. So
what kind of glass is it going into?
Well, I'll tell you what. The glass it's being used in like 5G, and it's also one of its biggest uses are wind turbines. They pulse electricity over this, what they call fingers of this ultra-conductive glass. And it's becoming more and more practical because it has less line loss. So that's going to prove to be very interesting in the future also.
Interesting. So it's not in the glass that's behind Scott, right?
Yeah, no.
That has silver in it. There's a colloidal silver suspension that they create a membrane that goes between the two windows. So when the sunlight hits it, it refracts off so that it gets rid of that heat that is created by the sun. So that is more a refractive membrane in there, and that uses silver.
Mm-hmm. So, and then the platinum and glass, that's not going to be recoverable.
No, absolutely not. That's what I know of. Yeah, let's put it that way. When it gets, maybe if the numbers get high enough, but you got to remember, it's heavy, it's difficult. High temperatures, what are the ratios going to be? I mean, that's, I haven't seen anything to point that out, but I'll take a look.
And jewelry, that's something that could be recoverable. That's pretty
absolutely. Well, jewelry is jewelry never goes away, quite frankly. I mean, it just never. I mean, you cannot go into a pawn shop or into a jewelry store with a piece of jewelry in your hand where you won't get a price.
Mm-hmm. It's very common too when you go looking for older period jewelry.
They all recycle.
Yeah, the older period jewelry is almost primarily platinum because it's so much stronger. I'm encouraging all of my friends who are getting engaged, making these financial investments in their wearable wealth, and I'm pointing all of them to platinum. I'm saying, why would you buy gold jewelry right now? It's expensive. Go get some platinum. That will increase in value. It's not going anywhere.
Not that long ago, platinum was worth a lot more than gold, but
that's exactly right.
So. Yeah. And an engagement ring that's the biggest investment somebody makes at a young age. So
it works for me. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I want to add something too. And as you guys are talking about glass production, some of the machinery and the tools that are used to actually roll the glass out and to work with it, those are made of platinum and palladium and rhodium metal. The high heat resistance and corrosion resistance are, so rather than using iron, which is going to make this oxide scale, if you're using platinum metals, they won't get contaminated and they won't corrode in that high heat environment of pouring out silica glass.
A lot of the beakers too, a lot of the labs and their beakers have real high tensile strength and very, very high heat resistance. And Corning does a lot of that work and they do it very well.
Oh, isn't that a big part of what Heraeus does? Is they make laboratory equipment?
Oh yeah, and Heraeus is probably one of the biggest end users there is out there. So I think that speaks a wealth of demand.
Well, very interesting. And what's the percentage that is going into the catalytic converters?
Actually, they're number 2 in net usage right now. So I don't have the percentage, but I know you put everything together, and they're the second largest demand right now is automotive.
And as we know, that is recoverable. If it's done correctly, if people are cutting the cats off their used cars, which cars is one of the most recycled things in the world.
Yep.
And people, you hear a lot about, and we do everything we can to deter it and control it. We hear a lot about converter theft. And one thing I do have to remind people is, like, you also have to remember cars are the most recycled thing in the United States as a vehicle.
Yeah. And same with Germany. In Germany, they passed a law many years ago, which said that any car produced has to have a certain percentage of it has to be recyclable. So the government is working hand in hand with the recyclers. They're attempting to bring in as much product and recover as much product as they can. So it's an attitude. It's kind of like, we're going to work together, and we want to make sure that you guys get as much of that product in. And you, as you know, from coated wire to platinum, palladium, all of that comes back in, and it's important, and it's going to stay that way. Look at Nick, we're talking what, 2035, they're talking about having the majority of gas-powered vehicles off the road in California. Where are they going to go? They're just going to stack them up on the side of the road. They're going to have to be recycled, right? And
where are all those non-gas vehicles going to get their copper from, or their silver from?
They're just not. It's not available. They're not going to be able to do it. But we as end users, we as hedgers, we as producers, people are all going to do our bit and help, get that metal out to them so that we can bring about this green revolution. And we are doing the best that we can. And I'll tell you what, our recyclers are just kicking it, man. They're just guys like you, we got to give you guys credit. You're making a living, but man, it's not easy work. It's not glamorous, but we need what you're doing. And we appreciate it,
Yeah, I always joke with my wife when we're out of town for work. I was like, we always have to sneak in the back because all the scrap metal groupies are out there waiting for us.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Like, it's not a glamorous business. We deal with a lot of rough people, but I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I love this industry. I love what we do.
Oh, yeah. For 40 years, they've been throwing rocks at us because we're the dirty guys on the outside of town, taking their garbage away. We're just the bad guys. Now, all of a sudden, we're rock stars, come on.
So, let me see here.
There we go. That's better.
So real quick, how is the markets looking? We saw kind of a run in rhodium, what's your guys' outlook? Are we still thinking kind of what we thought a week ago? Any changes on that aspect of the pricing?
Oh, both of the metals, platinum and palladium.
I'm still in. Yeah.
I was gonna say they're catching a bid today, so both are up on their market.
Yeah.
And they've found this comfortable range where the metals where platinum and palladium like to hang out. And to me, sideways movement in a comfortable range is a positive indicator, because that means there's support in that market. If there was excessive selling pressure, it would happen. So if we are essentially channel bound in a particular price bound, that's good. That's good information, especially right now as our economy is not really moving at full steam. The whole world economy is not really moving at full steam, yet we're still finding support in the prices. That's really important because you build from the base up. So if we've got a strong base and a slow moving economy, that's great. That's great. For so long term, we're in a fantastic position.
We're all right. Short term, we might have some bumps in the road, but long
yeah,
term,
we
be all right.
Yeah, each metal, platinum, palladium, rhodium, they've got a range where they're feeling relatively comfortable. Now, rhodium, of course, has the highest volatility,
right?
But it is finding its new home. Let's say that.
Got
it. A new normal.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think from a technical standpoint, as Scott is saying, we're range bound and we're holding in an area. But if you're a CEO of a firm and you're an end user of product, it makes life a lot easier. And it allows, if you know you're going to have a demand for 500 or 600 ounces of platinum and maybe 500 ounces of palladium in your production, you can look at your charts and you can come onto Tornado, our platform, and buy it right there for the future, and have the product sitting in your hedge. And when you need it, then you just go out and buy it and lift your hedge, and then you're at beta zero. You have no risk as far as volatility to the upside goes. And that's been working pretty well for guys that work with us,
Gotcha. Well, anything else to add, gentlemen?
I think that'll do it for today. I mean, Scott, you have anything you want to add?
I want everybody to stay safe and happy and healthy over the long weekend. And to really try to think about and brainstorm where our metals are coming from and where they're going and how we're using them. And I really like that you brought up, Nick, that, an automobile is the most recycled product, because it is. And none of that material gets wasted. And automobiles are largely made from recycled material in the first place.
That's true.
So that's a really great take home for all of your viewers, is to think about, where are these materials coming from? Where are they going? Just because it's fun to think about sometimes.
Absolutely.
And all the guys that are hedging with us, Nick, that have been laying off risk on the Tornado platform. Tornado 2 is about to launch. So look for some headlines on that shortly. We're kind of excited about that. So it's a completely new upgrade, and it's going to offer a whole lot of things that we didn't have before. So a lot of stuff that we had to do manually, we can now do on the cart. So it's going to be very exciting.
Exciting. I can't wait to see it. Well,
thanks, gentlemen. I know you guys have a copy of it. We'll get you hooked up.
Yes. And I'll look for my hat too.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Okay? All right, you too.